to the Senior Year Game Plan. It's the podcast where we're exploring the hottest career opportunities for high school students and parents, if they're listening in too, or people that want to change their careers. We're here for you as well. I'm the host. My name is Michele Ehrlich. I am a teacher. I'm an Army veteran, and I'm the founder of Hot Next Gen Careers, where we are focused on high return on investment career paths to help you secure a bright and prosperous future, making the most money that you possibly can in the best, most efficient way possible. So we're going to today talk about a critical topic, why it might be good for you to learn a skill in today's market and how that could be valuable to you. As valuable, if not more valuable, than earning a 4-year degree. So here we are. I'm with Amarie Biroo. She is a high school senior at Forest Hills High School in Queens. She joins us every time to kind of give us the student perspective and hear what's going on now. It's January and the applications are over, for better or for worse. You're kind of sitting there waiting for your inbox to give you an acceptance. And if you're just opening your eyes to college applications and realize that it's a little too late in January, don't despair, because we're going to dive into in the next few weeks and this episode, what are your options, even if you are not going to go to college? And even if you are going to college, what are you going to do with this time from in your senior year, from January until June when you graduate, and then even the summer? There are some interesting possibilities for this time because Amarie has told me that now she is finished taking this one college class she took last semester. She's got a little bit more free time. We have a little more free time in lives as seniors when you finish your college application. So we want to talk about not necessarily wasting that time. But really, why is it that learning a skill could benefit you even if you're going to go to college? So high school seniors are under a lot of pressure. Like, you want to start to earn money, like real money, not just the minimum wage, but if you could earn money, it could be a game changer for you. And you want to do it as soon as possible. And you've got a couple months right now where there's not that much pressure. You're not in college yet. And maybe you want to contribute to your family household and feel valued in a career that matters as well as making money. But you might also not want to commit to that 4-year degree. And then, especially if you're unsure about what you want to do, you might want to take some kind of certification or training that is quicker for you to decide, instead of taking 4 years to go through a degree and decide. So if this is you, if it sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. There's alternatives to 4-year colleges, and we're going to talk about them today, Amarie and I. And we want to explore abilities. We want to untangle the vast array of possibilities between college and vocational training, certifications. You want to gain experience. You want to get paid as much as you can for your work. And certainly you don't want to go into debt that college gives you if you can avoid it. And you might be just late to the game in applying to college and trying. And so this might be the best option for you if you have not yet applied to college, because they do have their deadlines. So Amarie, I really appreciate you being here. I want to ask you a few questions. So as a high school senior, what is the biggest thing on your mind when you think about your future after graduation? Maybe you're thinking about your finances. Maybe you want to pick a career. Maybe you want to try to be independent as soon as you can. So what are your thoughts about your future after high school?
So the first thing that came to mind was the cost of college, because I'm going to be moving out of state. So I know it's going to be pretty expensive, unless so far I have had, like, when I was doing like deeper research about the colleges, I got to know that a few of them that I did apply to, they allow you to stay on campus for maybe a year, 2 years for free. Like they need you to be on campus. I mean, maybe it's to feel the college life, or I'm not sure why exactly it's mandatory, but I think that's really good that colleges do that for kids. Yeah, finances is like the main thing on top of my list. Second would be where I'm going to go, because that could be anywhere. I have schools all over the country I applied to, and I love all of them, but it's just like choosing the right one.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it's not going to be the end of the world if you choose one and not the other, but it certainly will impact your life. And so you do need to think deep down, what is it that you're going for? Why are you going to attend this one college as opposed to a different one? Is it because of the degree that they offer that you can't get somewhere else? Is it because that location offers you the experience to be in a situation or in a close to a city or wherever, close to something that you want to be? So all of those factors. And Amarie, I don't envy you. I wish you, and this is an exciting time, but I wish that the focus, that you're able to have a mental clarity and go with your gut and trust that even if you wind up in a place where you don't love it, you can also turn around and do something different. You don't have to stay anywhere that doesn't work for you. So what about the challenges that stand out for you when it comes to, you mentioned some of them, like maybe moving out of state, choosing wisely a career path or a different college or where exactly it is. You mentioned a fear of going into debt, or maybe even, do you have societal expectations, like your parents expect you to get a 4-year degree?
I think I expect it from myself more than they expected from me. I mean, I never had like any other, it's not like a choice, but I always saw myself going to college and fulfilling like my master's right away, like just like a straight maybe 7 years, just like my sister did. Maybe I might take a year off in between, but it's just that I want to get that over with because I see my life being more successful with having all those experiences, all those years of education. So yeah, that's really like what it looks like for me.
Right. Okay. You brought up really valid points that you want to make your experience work for you. If you are going for that small college experience where you want to gain the network, you want to gain strong relationships with other students and even the professors if it's a small school, but you said get the bachelor's degree, get the master's degree, start earning money. That is quite at least 4 years for a bachelor's and 2 more for a master's, so 6 years. In that 6 years, you could potentially get a certificate in something. So here's the thing: you always have to earn some kind of side hustle job. You've got to earn your living allowance. Maybe it's great if you don't have expenses, or if you're on a student loan, you don't have to worry about it. But the rest of us, we do have to worry about how are we going to go out for a movie with a friend, even those kind of spending money. So in order to do that, we need to get to the best possible way to have a part-time income. And so to it, that it's not just about college and you're going to succeed in college. There's more than one path to success. Even if you're going for your master's, you could be realizing that learning a skill or getting hands-on experience through programs like apprenticeship and training that can lead to high-paying, fulfilling careers faster than a 4-year degree. While you earn your 4-year degree, you can be doing that part-time. So, Amarie, do you think that schools, I want to dig into, I know you go to Forest Hills High School, my daughter does too, and I am always tooting the horn of that school. I think they do a good job of talking about opportunities, but you tell me, do you think that there's enough talk about trade opportunity, apprenticeship, internship?
Unless you're like really close with someone or you're really in the school, like how do I say that? Like you're really like in the school and the school life
Like in
and
the
everything.
know, you're like connected, you're
Yeah.
always looking on the website or right in the ear of a guidance
Mhm.
counselor. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always like reading the papers or something like that, or you're like really connected with a counselor or a teacher. I feel like most students do have that relationship, do have that connection with everyone. So the opportunities the internships, they're really out there. The emails, they email every single student. So it's also really about the student being like wanting those opportunities for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're a person that is to yourself and maybe you're not in the mix or you don't really talk to the teachers, maybe you would want to like keep an eye out for like the emails, or you could do your own research, see if it's connected to the school. Like mainly the institutions around the schools, they're connected to the schools like that, like the nonprofits. So that's a good way also to maybe get an internship or experience in something.
Right, exactly. So in the high schools, and I taught high school for a long time, there's really a push to go to college. And I found I taught English as a second language, so students that were like new to the country, or even there were lots of different types of students, and that college wasn't for them, and so they were still being pushed. Now they're starting to more talk about trades and vocations and other apprenticeship, internship, other kind of hands-on learning. But it's very, like you said, unless you're in the know and or proactive about it, it's hard to find all of these opportunities. So we're going to go through every week just a couple of them. Amarie and I are in New York City. But if you're not, we're also going to go through where you can find stuff located close to where you are. So we're talking about going to college, but also if you haven't applied, or if you decide you don't want to go to college, it's not something that should be treated like it's a bad idea or a bad thing, because the traditional path just isn't for everybody, and that's okay. And what matters is really finding a path that works for you and sets you up for success. And even if you do want to get the 4-year college degree or a master's, even after that, getting these little steps and even something that can get you earning money in a quicker way while you go to your bachelor's degree could be a good answer as well. For me, I would waitress my way through college, and that was my best way to get money. I don't know if I would want somebody to live that situation, or I'm not even sure if those types of positions are available or how plentiful or easy. So, or depending on what your personality is, what you want to do as a part-time job, I'm just trying to introduce people to the quicker options to get a better paid, high return on investment career. So we're going to talk about 2 programs today. And if you don't live in New York City, no problem. We're going to talk about how to get to other programs. So Per Scala is one, and I'll put that in the description on the links to the program, but it offers free IT, which is tech, training and certification programs. And then I want to talk about CTE programs. That's a general term for career and technical education. New York City public schools have them, but if you're not in New York City, if you looked up CTE, you should be able to find a program near you. And this is where you can earn a high school diploma and a career-focused endorsement. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, Amarie, I wanted to talk to you about why exploring these kind of skills-based careers can be valuable. Again, you can start to earn money sooner, even if you're going for your bachelor's or your master's. You can try something out in a field before committing years of study to it. So you could walk into a high school with a teaching assistant, a certificate, realize you don't like the school, or working in schools. You could get a medical assistant type of working in a hospital, or a phlebotomist type of certificate, realize that you don't like the medical field at all. Thankfully, you only spent a couple of months on that certificate and not that much money, if at all. And we'll talk about the programs that you can use to get to those cheaper ways to get their certification. So burden of student debt, Amarie, and every high school student, a senior, is thinking that it could take decades to pay off. Hopefully you're amazing and get it all paid for, but the rest of us don't. And we have to figure out how to pay on our own. So Per Scala is something that is, it's a free IT training program, and it preps students for certification in high demand tech jobs. We've talked about in previous episodes that tech is on the up and up, data analytics, and also cybersecurity certificates. and they often start at $60,000 a year. And this per Scala, it doesn't cost anything. So these kind of things that this is a New York City program, but they are available for wherever you happen to live. So Amarie, after I talk about that, would something like a free education, a certificate in cybersecurity, software development, would that be something that would be of interest to you? Or do you think that it would be too tech? I mean, I know you're not into tech, but we've talked about how tech actually, that cybersecurity can also be an extrovert's job where you're dealing with a network of different government agencies when we're talking about cybersecurity, talking about working in groups to figure out the security issues and maybe management and leadership opportunities. So, and then software development, same thing. It doesn't have to only be in front of a computer, but would you consider doing something like that if someone said, here's this free training?
I would, mainly because after we had that conversation in I think it was November maybe. I don't remember how long ago, but the session we had talking about that it would be a good skill to have, especially since they predict that in maybe a few decades, that the society, the systems and everything will be maybe almost 90% AI and technology, and then you have to know these things. It would be a good skill for anyone to have knowledge about, not only for yourself, but to help those around you. It would just be like you're in a world and you have no idea what's going on. So I would take it because it's gonna benefit me in all the ways I could possibly think of. Even though maybe I say I don't like it, I think once you see the bright side of something, you could like grow into liking it. There's never something that someone completely doesn't like unless like they take the chance to try it out. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And so you want to get yourself into, I mean, if it's really something that is not palatable to you, then you obviously don't want to go for it. Like if you're more, if even the idea of cybersecurity, you know, some people don't like security, police, that kind of a job, then maybe something more an extrovert job like managing people would be something. But these kind of certificates are out there to be had as well, and for less money. But it's not just about the money, but you gain some kind of hands-on experience. You wind up building a network through the relationships you form when you get out of your high school bubble and go to an industry or a different type of classroom. And then you if it is IT like this per Scala program, it's such a high growth, fast growing industry that we talked about. The projection is like 38% in the next 10 years of growth. But even if you don't like that, there are uh, better options for you. But at the one idea we keep coming back to is be it a skill in cybersecurity, be it a skill in IT, be it a skill in management, or be a phlebotomist, or I think that takes longer, but a certificate that is quicker, a couple months long, then you have this thing in your pocket where you can always go back to it as your part-time job that earns more than minimum wage. The next program I wanted to talk to is just the New York City has a CTE, the Career and Technical education programs, but most cities and most townships have these type of technical education. You have to look for it. If you're a parent listening to this, you want to start to look for these kind of things because it could depend on which high school your child goes to, if they have a program like this or not. So this is where you earn an endorsement on your diploma. We're not talking about tech anymore. We're talking about more like healthcare, construction, business operations, like I said, the management stuff right out of high school. So you're earning part of your credits is in high school are in that field. So then when you graduate, you have a certification already. So Amarie, if you could do that, I know you're a senior, we can't put you back to freshman again, but do you think it's a good idea that high school students could get also a diploma that also qualifies you for a job? Do you know somebody that might benefit for that?
I think that would be like a go-to, especially if you don't see yourself going anywhere else. It's like really good to get into something like that because then you'd have an idea where you'd be in the next maybe 5 years or something. I'm not sure if I know anyone because I don't really know many freshmen or many sophomores. So I don't really know anyone that would be
New,
like a
this
good.
is like new concept stuff that they're even allowing this, but the more that it's talked about, the more somebody will go
Mhm.
into a school and say, you know what, I want to do this. I don't want to go to college, and the programs will get into the schools by people pushing for that. But it's still kind of new. New York City is a little bit more advanced than maybe some other places in the U.S., but really the idea of graduating with career ready skills in addition to high school diploma could really prepare students for apprenticeship and college, but also direct entry into the workforce in high demand industries. So we're talking about different career focuses, that different programs, different industries that one could get into even if you're not in New York City. You can look online for career and technical education. But carpentry, HVAC, the other skilled trades, business and finance, media and design. There's all kinds of digital production certification. Then there's industry certifications that like OSHA, that is a safety certification, or CompTIA, that's an IT certification, Adobe Creative Suite. So these are things that high schools could offer students. And even right now, it's January, Amarie, you could look into and probably hop on the back of some program. The Per Scala is still open. And I think the CTE, if we Google it for your school, it's still available because now is January. You've got 6 months of good quality time that you could potentially invest in something like that. So it's work-based learning. We're looking for internships and hands-on projects that mimic real-world scenarios, are things that, like Amarie right now, is finished with her college application at a time in her life that she might be able to latch onto an internship or work-based learning so that she can get this type of qualifications. And then, of course, these kind of projects, these certifications, they could come with college credits as well. So, Amarie, what do you think? Do you think something like that could benefit you to get a certification, even if you're going to go to college?
Yeah, I definitely think that would be beneficial. Not just for me, I mean, that would also be able to like maybe if it would give me credit, it would help my parents, maybe if they would help me pay for maybe the first 2 years, it would help them like eliminate a few $1,000 because you do have to pay for the classes and that is expensive. So I feel like any credits you could get to put towards college or maybe AP classes or like literally anything that you could get, you should take. It would just take some weight off and then it would give you peace of mind, maybe a little experience to see what to expect in those years. So it would be a good idea.
Right, exactly. So you could prepare for a career like in healthcare or IT. And then you could also, it could potentially impact you that you like it or you don't like it, to
Yeah,
learn in a
especially.
quick way and also in a less expensive way, because since you're still in high school, there's a lot of free stuff that is offered to high school students. And this is a perfect opportunity because you have the time after you apply for college that you could potentially learn something and get a certification. And then you have that ace in your pocket that you have that skill. And if you need to lean on it for a part-time job while you're in college to earn some money, you can do that. So healthcare, we talked about, you could get it in tech or skilled trade or something else. So Amarie, do you think that learning skills through hands-on, like going to on the job or internship, some kind of project-based learning instead of a classroom, do you think that it could be beneficial for your career? I mean, you could probably learn how to interact with people, a lot of things about work life.
I think any career that would be hands-on, maybe like working in a hospital or anything that's like you have to deal with the public, getting experience before you actually go into the field would help you and help the people that you're supposed to be helping. Because you can't go into something and you don't know what it looks like. Being comfortable and taking maybe a shadowing internship or just going to there to see the environment and what it's like, it would really help you to get to know what's coming, to be expected of it, to just have an idea. of how you would fit in the field, how you would be a good help additionally to the people around you. So any job or any career, I think, has hands-on opportunities. Maybe whether it's behind the desk and you don't really interact, I think it's still good to see what that environment is like, because it will really help you to just put that in your head, have a good mindset about it, so you wouldn't be too nervous maybe or worried. So yeah, it's a good
You're
idea.
you're going to be a lot more confident when you enter the
Yeah.
workforce because you've already had the experience. So you mentioned it before, you'll be more comfortable. And then how about, so let's say that you don't have this career and technical education aspect at Forest Hills, you could still take online courses. So how comfortable would you be with that, Amarie? Like Google Career Certificate, Coursera, but you would build
Personally,
skills like that. But it would take a personal commitment.
yeah.
Yeah,
Personally, I don't like online learning. Like during COVID, I didn't like it at all. Like sitting in front of a computer, not being able to interact with like my teachers and my friends. I did learn. I mean, I didn't change the way I learned. Still had good grades and everything. I just felt like it's so much better in person to be able to just sit there and watch someone teach you, or them helping you teach, helping others teach you, or maybe it's like multiple teachers, like whatever it may be. I feel like online isn't the best unless it's maybe like a tech something, and that too would be better in person, so you can see the person actually working in front of you. I mean, if the whatever you're taking, whatever course you're taking is only available online, that would still be a good go-to. It's also a way to learn many things. If the other person is very far away, halfway across the world, it's a good way to be anywhere and still continue learning. Like just on a daily basis, you could be in your bedroom and you like in your bed comfortable, and you're still getting that information that you would be getting in the classroom. It's just about the preference and how you're comfortable, basically. So
exactly. Well, I mean, the online, the best part is that it's much cheaper. And so you
that
could
is true.
to build, like you said, in the comfort of your home, start to build skills for a high paying job. Like, in secrecy, when everybody else is going to bed, you are spending an hour learning something that slowly but surely is going to get you to a high paying job, if not a career, at least a high paying job. So knowing that, putting in the effort, now you're 17, you're almost 18, but you're thinking about how to make the money and how to really make the best bang for your buck, because you know how much an hour is worth. It's valuable. And so you might as well make the most you can during that that hour of work that you possibly can do. So do you think, Amarie, that it's important to have opportunities to explore careers without committing to something long term? So like if you for a couple of months, you got a medical assistant certificate in a few months, went into the hospital, decided you hated the whole field of medicine, and now you can jump ship. Do you think that it would make you feel like more confident if you could try something out, and even for free, before deciding if it's right for you? Do you think it would make you feel more confident about your future?
Yeah, like the conversation earlier about getting hands-on opportunities. I think being able to have any certification, even though you end up not liking it, it's still good. You'll be able to tell other people what it's like, what it was like for you, but not in a negative way. So it's just like telling them what it was like, but not like judging anything, not putting any like little ideas of yours or any little preferences. I think anything you're gonna end up spending your life on, or maybe the rest of the half of your life on after college, I think it's wise to like see what it is, like get the hands on, so you know what to expect. If you like you said, wanted to go in the medical field, and if you didn't like take that hands on or shadow or just go to see what it's like, and you end up being there, what would you do? Like you would come home so sick, and you wouldn't want to wake up in the morning to go to work. You would just hate it, and you would be miserable, and you wouldn't be able to do your job properly. So I think
Exactly.
whatever we should really like think about it and really
And
know
also,
what we were expecting.
if you got that certificate as a medical assistant or something in the medical field that you can get quick, some kind, maybe management of some sort, and you decided that you hated it, you can still, or didn't like it, you can still switch to a totally different career, but you still have that certification in your pocket that even though you don't love it, you can still do it to earn money if you need to. So for me, I learned Chinese Mandarin in the military and I was a translator. And that was my like secret sauce that I could rely on being a Chinese translator because it is nuanced. It's different than Google Translate. So I could still make money on it. But it took me years and years and years to learn that language. If I could, shoulda, coulda, woulda in a quick way, get something like a certificate in a few months and rely on that instead of having to pull out my Chinese to earn a living. But to have one skill, even if you decide that you don't want to be in the medical field, but you have this medical assistant license or certification, you can work in that until you get to a better place. My cousin is another example. He was going to law school and he was working as an accountant, and he paid, being an accountant is good money, and he needed good money to pay for law school. So sometimes you got to do it like that, taking from one job to pay for your investment in your other future career. So we mentioned some really good advice about people, to high school seniors that might be nervous about exploring careers outside of the college path, that you can do it in a small, less scary way by getting a certificate in something. You completely missed the deadline for college applications and you're a senior wondering what should you do now. There are a couple of things we mentioned. ProScala is an IT for free program. You can find it online. And the CTE programs in general, New York City has them, but other cities and places have them around the US to explore technical education programs. So how can you find this stuff? Amarie was saying, start with your guidance counselor. Maybe you're lucky enough to have a relationship with that person. Usually that person's spread between 400 people to one student, to one guidance counselor. But maybe you can ask your guidance counselor about career training programs, or you can look on your school website to see about career training options. You could also go to community colleges. Of course, online you can go to community colleges or workforce development centers. That's Department of Labor, because labor means job. And so they have job type stuff there. So in the school, sometimes you're lucky enough to get a career fair, but you can look online to see if there's one that you can attend. Schools host career fairs. They give local training program. They invite those guests and employers that showcase these kind of training opportunities. But, we can't rely on them. And maybe you're homesick from school on that one career fair day. So you're always going to want to try to look for opportunities to do a couple things. Like, you want to try to shadow somebody in a field that you're interested in. So that could be a family member or somebody, a teacher or local organization you belong to. Arrange one day to shadow somebody in a career you are curious about. Then there are local libraries and community centers that have workshops or have like directories of local career training programs. If you are a parent looking into resources for your child, there's some local stuff. So state and local, like we said, workforce training programs, that's from Department of Labor. They will talk about apprenticeship. Community college sometimes has a dual enrollment opportunity for training in the trades like construction, plumbing, welding. But you want to try the internship if you can, if there's a possibility, or some kind of a part-time job in a career that you want to explore, to see if it's something that is worth a long-term commitment for you. And then, of course, we mentioned apprenticeship. There's something called apprenticeship.gov, and you can look through that to see structured training with on-the-job experience it gives you, and they will also pay you. And then the online certifications we mentioned before. There's Coursera, which I highly recommend. It's a monthly subscription. Sorry about that. You can get for a monthly subscription fee from Coursera any number of different certifications. There's the Google cybersecurity, there's Microsoft cybersecurity certificate, all in about 4 to 6 months. And Coursera is only $49 a month. So that's really you can end the subscription after you finish your couple of months of certificate too. So Udemy is another one that I'll talk about, but these are online, affordable ways to learn new skills and transition into high demand fields, which is what we're always looking for. So you want to go to your school's website, or you can go online for CTE programs, contact your school counselor. And if you're not in the New York City area, then you want to look for these kind of career training, education opportunities. They exist, so you can find them online. You can find them in your local school district. A website could have them. They're statewide initiatives. Everyone wants, the state is trying to get you into a good job. So the more you look into it, the better opportunities you're going to find for internship, for job shadowing, for free training, for free certification. Like, we're in New York, but California has a CTE Pathways program. Texas is calling theirs CTE Resource Center. Florida calls theirs the Career and Technical Education Program. So something like that, you'll be able to find it wherever you are. Community college also offers a dual enrollment if it's something you can look into for even in the summer, because the community college has summer programs, or standalone career training programs for high school students. So with now it's January, Amarie, you could look into LaGuardia Community College, see if they have something that you could work and get credit in through LaGuardia Community College, Queensborough Community College, or any local New York City community college. We're talking about industry certifications, hands-on internships, and transfer college credits, hopefully, from community college websites. We said workforce training, dual enrollment could get you on the right path if you want to Google that one. Apprenticeship, I can't stress enough that how important we think that it could be to get this kind of on-the-job training combined with classroom instruction. So that kind of apprenticeships are available to students and young adults in a lot of industries. And in a lot of industries, let me just turn that off. Fine. So students can enroll in apprenticeship in industries like construction, IT, and healthcare. So you can, again, go to apprenticeship.com to find registered apprenticeships by location and by industry. Then there are national, like the whole U.S. Organizations that have career training. It's called the Career Training Year Up. It's a program for young adults 18 till 24 years old, hands-on training in business, IT, finance. They have internships also with top companies. If you're not going to college, that sounds like a great idea. Goodwill Industries offers free and low-cost career training programs across the country too. Then there's the Job Corps. It's a federal program for free career and tech training for youth ages 16 to 24. And I'll put all of these links into our description. Don't worry. Online career training platforms that we talked about, Google Career Certificates from Coursera could be a good way for you to quickly get into a high-paying, high-demand career. Programs in IT and data analytics, project management, if you're more of an extrovert. So these are all affordable training. You could also coding if you want to go that route, design if you want to go that route. There's so many different ideas, but the idea is to get some kind of a skill, some kind of a technical skill that you have in your back pocket that you can carry around with you and offer up your services for money as you go through this world, as you're continuing on with a college degree or not. So you want to be able to have many opportunities to get yourself into knowing about a career, get yourself paid top dollar for whatever it is that you are in. Actionable advice for you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. You want to potentially go to your school guidance counselor about CTE programs or similar like type of programs. If they don't have any available, you want to go to community college, online, look for online certifications from Coursera. If you're a parent, you're looking for your children, you want to maybe research the local and state career training opportunities. It could potentially affect where you decide to put your child in for high school. But you want to guide your children. I want to guide Amarie and my child as well towards a high return on investment education path. And then if you're changing your career as an adult, you can still look into apprenticeship, online courses, and then there are programs like Job Corps to gain new skills. So I want to just say for everyone who's listening, take a moment to explore what's out there beyond the 4-year college path, because programs like Per Scalas and CTE programs, either in New York City or other places, will have plenty of opportunities for you to get hands-on apprenticeship and job shadowing. Again, I'll have the links in the show notes to help you get started. And if you're feeling stuck or unsure, remember that you don't have to get it all figured out today, but you should start to explore options and just take one step at a time. So in next episode, we're going to talk about trade schools some more and how they're really creating high demand careers in industries like construction, welding, and plumbing. And then we'll introduce 2 more programs that are shaping the future workforce. So thank you so much for joining me, Amarie, and thank you to everyone listening to the Senior Year Game Plan. So don't forget to follow Hot Next Gen Careers on YouTube. Even if you are looking for just more insights into high demand careers, we are looking for the best careers for you. See you next